This happened when I was 12 years old. I was living with my father in a small place in India. There weren't a lot of houses nearby. We were pretty much isolated and surrounded by wilderness. One rainy night, me and my father were watching TV on the couch when we heard a knocking at the door. That was very odd, because not only we didn't have a lot of visitors, but it was nighttime. Anyway, my father got up and went to the door. I quickly followed him but stayed behind him. Before he opened the door, he asked who it was, and we heard a voice of a woman. She said she was just trying to find shelter from the rain and that she got lost in the woods. My father, being a good man that he is, decided to open the door. As he opens the door, we could start seeing the woman outside. She was soaking wet, and her clothes were torn apart. My father quickly told her to get in and found her some clothes to put on. My father told me to go to sleep, but I was curious with that woman being there, so I pretended I went to sleep and stayed watching them both. My father sat close to her and started speaking to her. He asked questions like what she was doing there at that time of the night, or if she was alone, but to no avail. Once she got inside and by the fire, she was just silent, facing the fire. A few minutes go by, and my father gave up on trying to speak to her. So he gets up and prepares himself to leave the room when she starts mumbling something. He stopped and looked at her. I couldn't really understand what she was saying, but I believe she kept repeating the words, "I lost him." My father sat down again by her side and tried to speak to her, but she kept looking at the fire, emotionless, and kept mumbling what I think was the same words. I had a bad feeling about this. Something was off about that woman, and I was worried with my father's safety. The mumbling continued a few more seconds. My father then tried to touch her shoulder, to have her attention, and as soon as he touched her, she quickly turned her head to him. This time, she had a different look. Her eyes were bloodshot red, and she started getting up, and to this day, I swear what happened next is true. When she got up, her feet weren't touching the ground. She was levitating, and that's not all. Her face was completely different from before. She looked like a witch. Her hair turned gray and old, and her face wrinkled. I ran to my father, and together we ran out of the house, leaving that creature alone there screaming. I remember running that entire night with my father, looking for a safe place to stay, and after many, many miles of running, we encountered a local village. My father and I never spoke about this with each other, and I sincerely hope we never encounter that thing ever again.